And good evening, everybody. Back with another episode of Plunked. This is the baseball podcast where we celebrate two teams from just one city. I am one of the hosts. My name is Amelia Bucks, and joining me, as usual, Madam Kristen Petit.
Hello.
What's going on, Kristen?
Not much. How's everyone doing? Hello,
No,
plunkers.
all our little plunkers. Yeah, yes. I hope everybody's enjoying this Labor Day week, and I don't know, for some reason, it doesn't feel like a normal weekend or something. I don't know, normal Labor Day weekend.
Oh, probably because kids started school already.
That they did, and that I am not complaining about.
Like CPS even started school already, and
That is
usually it's the
true.
CPS. So like you didn't have all the parents out getting the last minute supplies,
Hmm.
and then of course COVID stops a lot of gatherings that
COVID,
may have happened.
COVID is everything.
Yeah,
It's here. It's still here.
and no signs of slowing down.
It's not going anywhere.
There's new variants coming out.
New
Like
Transformers,
new albums,
Decepticon.
they're dropping Donda and Certified Lover Boy and a new variant, like all dropping
And
at the
it
last
just right.
time. like at midnight, Fauci's gonna drop the new variant on us.
Right, exactly. Like new hot mixtape coming. Damn. Yeah. So um it feels like maybe some people are in denial more than ever now, because I guess maybe some people got a taste of the freedom,
Hmm.
especially like at the beginning of summer. You saw people
Yeah,
kind of like out no mask and stuff like that. And now we're about to lock it back down again.
yeah.
But hey,
I mean, you can still go out. You just got to be safe.
just gotta be safe.
People
Just
don't
gotta be
want to be
safe.
safe because they're tired of being safe. I understand that, but being safe beats the alternative.
Yeah.
It's COVID.
My life matters.
Yes, yes,
You
it
know.
does.
Yeah. So with that being said, this is our first September show, and so we are in the final stretch of this MLB season. It's been an interesting season here in Chicago, both sides of town. A lot of ups, some downs, a lot of stories. So we're getting past this point of the whole breakdown of the Cubs, right? And now it's kind of like feels like we're moving on, right? No,
Okay, yeah. I mean, the fellas that are there, they're playing their hearts out for
yes,
either this team next year or another team. You got a couple of
yeah,
characters on there, so that's good.
uh-huh.
You got, the core of Happ and Hayward. That's a strong core.
The core,
Uh,
the
yeah,
rotten apple core of
yes,
of
that will
yeah.
be there next year. So, I applaud these young men that are playing for their careers. So, and they're winning. They're playing exciting, but it's not that exciting because it means nothing. So, it's
I mean,
exciting
it's
for
true.
them.
Hmm.
Like, I'm happy for them and excited for them because they're showing somebody, either the Cubs or someone else, hey, give me a
That they can
chance
play.
next year. Yeah.
That
But it
they can
is
play.
yeah. But it is not exciting because it matters no, does not matter.
And
And
just
even though some of them are
yeah,
doing well, I don't see them as I don't need to see all of them
gotcha.
next year.
It feels like these guys that I'm seeing play, like you said, some of these guys can play. You know what I mean? The team as a whole obviously still isn't a good team, and of course, just because of where things started, escalated to, and then dropped to, no matter what happened at this point, it wasn't. going to be great. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, just everything, the emotional roller coaster that everybody, the team, the former teammates, former players, the fans have been through this summer. So, I'm sure there's overall that feeling of just be kind of glad when it's over,
Yeah.
but
But
enjoy the last few weeks.
right. At least they're not looking terrible going out. So it's
They
like,
snapped that double digit
right.
losing streak, and man, like the guy on first,
Wendell,
Schwindel, like dude could play.
he has a little character, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Dude got a little character.
Sure,
Dude can
he'll come
play.
down. I'd like to see who the real one is going to be next year, you know, because he's going to come down to earth.
Sure.
So, like, who is Frank Schwindel really? But I mean, he's
Well,
fine.
yeah. I mean, you probably find out. I mean, who know? Who knows? Who knows what this Cubs
Yeah,
offseason is going to
but
be like?
he's fine. Like, if that's who they have to come back with at first base because they can't get anyone, that's fine.
Right, right. That's what I was kind of hinting at. He seems like he wouldn't be a bad person to have in your lineup somewhere going into next year. But like you said, depends on who they try to go out and get. And,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like, what route are they going to take with this rebuild? Are they going to go, because obviously we know, like, oh, building a draft system and doing that. Well, okay, well, then we're talking about years. So, which who was it? The Ricketts and Jed said wasn't going to happen for all that's worth.
Tires.
But if that doesn't happen, then are they going to just load up with free agents? You
See,
know,
I don't even know if free agents going to want to come here. The free agents they're going to have to get are going to have to be pitchers first,
I was just going to
because
say pitchers.
this pitching staff is not good. Hendricks
Is
is not good
yeah.
lately.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
Um,
he's really
Keegan
struggling.
Thompson, you know, I don't even Zach Davies. I don't even know who else are starters.
Yeah, it
Alzolay
seems
now is
like
in
it seems like every other game is a bullpen game. It's like, who's
right.
this guy?
Yeah, so
Who's this guy?
it's. I mean, they're gonna have to fix that. No hit, no one who can hit is gonna want to come here.
Yeah, because they're gonna have to you know score 8-9 runs every game just to have a real chance. 'Cause,
And
they're
Professor,
giving up that much.
woof, Professor,
I
yikes!
saw that. I think that was that yesterday's game in the fifth
Where
inning.
yeah, I think
He just
so.
he just fell apart.
Yeah, that's what you
Was it
know.
like 3 walks, hit a guy, and just
I remember the original Professor used to only be good. You know, this is when Kyle first came up, and they kept saying how good he was. He would only be good for 4 innings,
mhm.
and by the fifth and sixth, what you saw the other day is what usually happens, and it's happening again.
It
Like,
made
he's only
me.
good for 4, 5 if everything's been going well.
Yeah, he's looking like that guy who just the third time around the lineup he just
Yes.
can't
So
handle.
he can't be your ace if you can't trust him to go to finish a game ever, he can't be your ace.
No,
And
no, no,
he
no, no,
can't be
no,
your ace. They need a
no.
real ace.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I think I don't think there's anybody whose spot is guaranteed except Hayward. Uh, and
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 Hayward and probably Hendricks because they have him so long. They have him for years. Yeah, it's, the Triple H, huh? Hayward, Happ, and Hendricks. That's your core, Triple H.
I mean, it's gonna be a rough. They're
That's
gonna have a
I
rough
bad.
time.
Woof. That's what they are.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I was trying to find
So,
something,
yeah.
because the thing is like I started watching Cubs games again. I
What? Because they're bad.
No, because I was just interested to see what's like. It was like once they traded everybody away and they went on just that terror, as in terrible, not like they were terrorizing the league, but just I really stopped watching them. Be honest, you know what I mean, and as of recently, I said, well, let me, just take a look at, now that the smoke is clear, let me take a look at what they got, you know. And so they got, and that's why I just came up. They got a couple of
Bad,
guys.
bad, and more bad.
Yeah, kind of. I mean,
But
the
they're
pitching
trying.
is the
They're
pitching is abhorrent.
Yeah,
You know what I
the
mean?
hitting is fine. It's that pitching is.
Yeah.
I mean, they had to score 11 today to beat the Pirates, so at least they're
Well,
beating up on bums, bummier than
yeah,
them.
yeah, that's true. We
Hey, there's
got our
Debbie.
our favorite plunker, Deb. Trevor Williams making his last start tomorrow. That's a nice
His
jersey
first,
there.
his first start for the Mets. Well, and so
His
while
first
Debbie
start.
is there, I would like to thank our loyal plunker Debbie, who was a collector of jerseys, and she decided, I'm done collecting these jerseys, so let me purge. And I just happen to know someone who's a Cubs fan, me. So she sent me this Cooperstown jersey, number 23, Ryan
Very,
Sandberg.
very
And
nice.
it
Very
is
nice.
beautiful. And Debbie, I appreciate you. I appreciate that you are a loyal listener, watcher, commenter. And thank you
Plunker.
for thinking of me. Thank you, Plunker. Our MVP, our most valuable Plunker
Yeah.
is Debbie. So thank you, Debbie. I was waiting for you to get on here so I could give you a personal thank you. Thank you very much.
That's
I
right.
appreciate it.
That's right.
It was a nice and I came home from the hospital with the box. I was like, who's sending me a laptop? And because it was in like a little laptop box. I was like, who's sending me? Who loves me with a laptop? And then I saw Debbie's name. I was like, oh, what did she send me? So I appreciate it. That was a nice surprise after coming
All
home.
right. Very nice round of applause
Yes.
for our everybody's favorite plunker, Debbie, out of New York City. Loyal Mets fan, also experiencing some a little bit of a rough
Yeah,
season
they
finish.
got it together though.
Yeah, they're so weird and just up and down, and um, but I've never trusted Philadelphia, and I guess too, Atlanta still,
Yeah.
in that mix. But
They're
you
only
know,
4 out, I think, of the wild card.
eight of
And
nine. They
Baez,
won 8 of 9.
yeah, after the little thing with Baez, he's been on fire, right?
Yeah, he has been. He has been.
Yeah, they're 3.5 out of first. So I think like most teams have about 25 games left, 25,
That
26 games.
that is a good week in where do they play now? In City Field. A good week for the Mets and a bad week for the Braves. Things could completely change. The Braves haven't, to me, proven to be just like had the division on lock or anything.
You know,
So
and they
Javi
continue
4 for 4 today.
yeah, yeah, he's he got dogs. He's not used to people not liking him. He didn't know how to
Yeah,
handle that. So
yeah.
he's gotten his mind right. But he is welcome to come on back home next season. Come on back home.
And it'll be
We love him
interesting.
good or bad, clearly.
It'll be clear. It'll be interesting to see where he lands next
Yeah,
year. There's always a likely chance he'll stay with the Mets, but there's a
yeah.
definitely chance he'll end up someplace else. Maybe
Yeah,
back here in
the Mets
Chicago.
fans like him now.
Like him now.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how it works. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
That's how it
So,
works. What have you done for me lately?
mhm.
You know.
So now,
Uh,
what's going on with the injury bug hitting your team?
so you know, my thought is it's a little bit of injury, a little bit more of some fatigue that they are, I believe. Maybe I'm being, a cockeyed optimist. And, I think that they're just kind of resting guys. They still have that, I think, I don't know, it may be down to like an 8 game lead now over Cleveland. They have plenty of cushion to even lose a little ground to Cleveland,
Mhm.
just to rest some guys. You know what I mean? Like Lance Lynn and that knee, that knee isn't a new injury, and it generally starts to nag him after a while. So getting him some rest, getting Gio some rest, getting Tim some rest for his sore lower body, like his
Yeah, it's his
hockey
hamstring,
injury.
right?
Is it a hamstring? Because first it
Yeah,
was sore
yeah,
legs, and so is a
yeah.
hamstring now.
He's on the IL for his hamstring.
Right. So I like to think that these are just moves to get guys some rest. I hope.
So
I hope
Gio's gonna
because
miss a
that's it.
start. Gio's missing the start for
Yes,
rest.
I heard that he was gonna miss a start.
Well,
Which
that I mean, that's the beauty of having this large of a lead with very few games left.
exactly, exactly, and this is why having a big lead, if you can get it, is important to get. You know what I mean? It just gives you leeway, gives you the chance. There's so many games in this league in baseball. You know what I mean? So like, guys do need rest. So many games, so much travel. Um, so September, I expect them to lose a little ground to Cleveland just by default. Hopefully, it doesn't go any further down than 5 games or so. Like, I mean, the way things are looking now, they're going to end up playing Houston probably. And I think that's probably our best shot. Like, I would not want to see a team like Tampa in the first round or
Now,
anything like that.
but didn't who do they struggle more with? Is it Tampa or Houston?
Tampa.
Really?
Yeah. They actually, they got blown out by Houston early in the year. I think they got swept in a 4-game series. Then
Mm.
they later on took 2 of 3 from Houston. And even in the 4-game series, they were all very close games. You know what I mean? Like I said, they got blown out, but only the series because it was 4-0. But they were in those games earlier in the season when this is back. Eloy's not in the lineup. Lubov's not in the lineup. So they took 2 or 3 from him the next series that they played here in Chicago. Tampa, they continue to struggle with Tampa. They're scary. They're just that unsupported team that just crashes people's party. You know what I mean? Kind of like the old Marlins teams used to be. Like you guys don't even have any fans in the stands. Why are you winning? Or how are you winning? You don't have any names anybody knows. Nobody in your town, in your city cares, but you're always a threat.
Mhm.
So, I gotta think it has something to do with them being in Florida. I don't know. You know,
So so they need to stay ahead of Houston to have the home field. Right now they're kind of like tied.
correct, correct. So they still have something to play for.
Okay.
And the Sox played much better at home. I mean, it's
Yeah.
always you usually play better at home, but like
Yeah.
it's a sizable difference how they play at home versus on the road. So, um, but then at the end of the day, if you're gonna make a deep playoff run, or if you're talking about winning the World Series, like that stuff can't even really matter like that. You know what I mean? Like, but you still got to be able to win on the road, in any league, So if we're looking like, oh my God, we don't have home field, and then it's like, well, then we're not just not that good anyway, So I'm hoping that those things help, but I hoping that we're not in a situation where we just have to rely on that, and because basically now it's like, all right, now we need luck and we got to have home field. Everything has got to go our way, and that's just not what happens in baseball. You know that. So the injuries, I believe, are more rests than serious injuries. I hope. I hope. I hope. Um, yeah. So I
Well,
mean,
it looked
just
like Tim Anderson's may be more injury because he didn't even look like he was running well.
when he came back before, what was like a week ago or something, like you
Hmm.
could tell he was kind of walking like Fred Sanford a little bit.
Yeah, they should have just. At,
Yeah,
they probably should have just put him out then. Put him
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Like
But put him down. They should have just put him down.
you
Just
got
put him back.
plenty of time for a 10-day or whatever whatever
Yeah,
the order is. Just to really
yeah.
let him rest.
Yeah, and these guys are dogs and they're winning and they're having so much fun. So none of them no competitor likes missing games, but
Hmm.
like in a time like this, with the
Yeah,
chemistry that this team has, the personalities, nobody wants to not play or have to end up on the IL because they just feel like they're missing out. You know what I mean? And they kind of are. So, I can see why he tried to come back too soon. Um, but yeah, so putting him on the IL is a good way of saying like, no, man, like you're not coming. You're not gonna say you're feeling good and we put you out there. Like you
right.
take
Because
these 10 days and that's it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And no arguments per game. Like put me in, coach, put me in, coach. Like no, not none of that. So you just got to be careful with those guys.
hmm.
Um, so overall, I'm a little nervous, but I've been a little nervous all year.
Hmm.
And just like in '05, I was nervous all year through the playoffs, even when they swept through the playoffs. So just trying to hold on. It's just like hold on. Let's get to the postseason, and then let's see what happens. Because ultimately, that's all that's going to matter. Really, this next couple of weeks aren't really going to matter that much, whether they get home field or not, or yada yada yada. It's like whatever. Come October, I don't know, 5th, whatever, 6th, whenever the first playoff game will be. That's showtime. That's when you lose some of the home cooking. Even when you're playing at home, you don't have your home announcers, and like all your games are national. So like the big boys come out, and guys like Houston and Tampa, they've been there. They've been there the past couple years, and so and the Sox were there last year too. So although last year just seemed so weird, like it just didn't even seem real. Just like they had a real season last year, but nothing against who won? The Dodgers? Yeah, the Dodgers.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, but
Well, it's almost unless like you wish it was almost time, but for people who are fans of like the Mets and some other teams, you're glad that there's still 25 games because there's still a shot.
mhm,
And like people like the Mets, they get to play a few people that they have a chance to really eat and
mhm,
to try to make some noise. But and, okay, of course the Sox need to rest some players, but it really is like, all right, we've been watching this long enough. It is
yeah,
like let's get to some.
yeah.
It's
I
like for
agree.
teams like the Sox, the Rays, people who have already cemented their place. For those
Yeah,
fans, it's kind of like, all right, I'm ready.
yeah,
For fans of the Mets,
yeah.
the Yankees, it's people who are still
Mhm,
either trying to get in or get better positioning. This
mhm,
is still exciting for them because they are now playing playoff baseball from now until the end of the
mhm.
year.
Very, very meaningful baseball going
Mm-hmm.
on for a number of teams,
Yeah,
and
it is way different watching meaningful baseball. Like Sox fans have
yeah,
meaningful baseball coming up, but it is
right.
like you start to get a little impatient. Like, oh, come
Oh
on!
yeah, I mean,
Like,
yeah,
every game that isn't a playoff game is a chance for someone to get injured. So you're like,
right.
just put in the minor leagues.
Like another game for somebody to look bad and have the shaken confidence
Yeah,
and like because now I'm kind of worried about Kopech. I'm like like getting kind of rocked up a little bit, like, and I hope that
yeah,
doesn't affect him because
yeah.
I feel like we're going to be counting on him
Yeah.
Um, come October. And
Because
Dallas Keuchel, he needs
ooh,
like
he's clearly not going to make the playoff roster, huh?
I can't see any scenario. Well, horrible. Not even with injury. I can't see him making the playoff roster.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
he gets rocked quick.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's not even good for some relief. You know
No,
what you know what I
yeah.
mean?
He can't even give you the one good inning.
No, no, no,
Definitely
he
wants to be
can't.
drunk every day until it's over. Yeah, because the
Yeah,
Mets, they, because the Mets trying to get in. But yeah, it is like, because I remember that just watching, like, all right, I'm ready for this to start because
yeah,
I don't want anything to happen to anyone that's important to the
exactly,
chances.
exactly.
And
And
it's
so,
like how you,
with that being said, this adds to my belief of the injury
that's great.
bug is more of a resting thing. Like, I mean, how integral, how important is Tim Anderson to this team? You know what I
Right.
mean? So sit him the whole month. I don't care. I don't need to see him. Let him play the last series against Detroit or something, just to make sure his timing
You can
is.
almost just let him be DH
Yeah, you know what I mean. Seriously, seriously.
just so he can get his timing
Just so he
together.
can get some swings in, get some at bats in, and like I don't need him out there even trying to do a whole bunch of fielding until it matters. Because yeah, like you said, it's like and then watching him, struggle against the Royals, it's like come
Because
on.
they refused to throw at Perez. They just kept like, here you go.
They just throwing him meatballs. He hit like one of the longest home runs in like the history of since they've been measuring home runs. I'm like, wow, like how does
Like, so you refuse to throw him anything else now.
it's just meatballs. Just throwing a meatball. But another in good news, Yasmani Grandal coming back, like he left something. Like, oh,
Oh,
I'm
he
back. I
took
left my
something.
keys. I left my wallet. Like, I'm back. What's up?
Yeah, he got him a little something.
Yeah, maybe that
Wink,
knee
wink.
got him a little. Hey,
Just joking before anyone says anything.
hey,
Just
like Hawk Harrelson said, if you ain't cheating, you ain't
cheating.
trying.
So did Mark Grace.
There you go. Yeah, Deb.
Yeah,
Tim
but
needs
he
to be at
did.
100% for all the important games. Yes, yes, Tim. We need
Yeah,
Tim is he's the
he's
guy. He's
he's
our
the
MVP.
engine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They don't succeed without him.
He's a better version of what Dexter Fowler was with the
Hmm.
like how Madden said, we go as he goes, and yeah, that I think the same could be said about Tim.
Oh, 2016, so long ago.
It's just
Feels like it
time.
was longer than this. Feels like it's longer than 5 years ago.
Oh my god, think about wow. That was just so much has happened though. Like think
That's why
about,
it seems like it's so long ago.
I know
We
between
we had
that
a
and the
lifetime of events since then.
because the election was that around the same time, and oh my goodness,
Yeah,
what
because that was
what?
the end, right? Because they got in
Mhm.
right before Barack left. And
Yep.
I know I said this on the show before. I said when Barack got elected, I was like, the Cubs are going to win the World Series during his
Because
presidency.
if he can get in
Yeah.
office,
Well,
anything can
no,
happen.
that and because he was a Sox fan, so I was like, yeah,
You know, throw it in his
he's
face.
gonna have to celebrate a Cubs team. That's why I said I was like, he's gonna have to celebrate a Cubs team, and they got
Yeah,
in
hey,
just in time.
sure did. Sure did. Hey, I wasn't mad. I was not mad. I enjoyed the hell out of
So
that
yeah, you're
season.
right. Oh, and then we have 4 years of a lifetime
Woo,
after
that
that,
that that
and
presidency
then we got a pandemic. That's why it
pandemic,
feels like
like
it's been 10 years.
man, pandemic, and then just
Social
the social injustice,
injustice.
the, the kneeling and
No,
everything, just
so
the
much.
police, and just it was so much. It was so much. Like,
Oh,
like I used to say, like I could never live, back in the day, like I'm like we had like back in the day all in one year.
yeah,
We had the riots, we had
yeah.
a global pandemic,
Pandemic.
we had like we
We
had
had an orange man running the
1973 mixed with
country.
1920. Yeah, like
Yeah, we had people storm the Capitol.
storm the Capitol.
We
Storm
had
the
more
halls
and
of the
more people
Capitol.
record. We had a man get recorded being killed by police.
Just
Protests, statues.
Christopher Columbus statues pulled down. Tear
Just,
gas.
just
Just
woo, it's been a lifetime in 5 years.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everyone
Lucky we yeah.
aged a few
Yeah.
extra years in the
Yeah.
past 5 years.
Yeah. It's been a like no matter what side of the fence you sit on,
It was rough.
it's been rough. I mean,
There's been something every
yeah.
every
Yeah.
time you turn around, like, wait, what?
What? Like
Yeah.
this isn't real?
And then I was just talking about this earlier. The pandemic, when it happened, yes, such bad memories, exactly, Debbie. When it happened and we were told to leave work, we're gonna be working from home. I told my team, I was like, okay, we have 2 months to show that we can work from home, and they'll let us stay there. Thinking that okay, this was only gonna be about 2 month thing, we'll get the
2 years.
money.
It's gonna be 2 years.
I know.
It's
Next March
gonna be
it'll be
2 years or
3.
longer, really.
Yeah, next March it'll be 3.
Whoa,
When like we shut it down.
man!
Kids, schools shut down, jobs.
Like I remember 2 weeks. I remember first it was 2 weeks. Like going home, be about 2 weeks. We'll be back 2 weeks. Then it was, and I remember, and it was April 20th. And then it was like,
That's when
we
you're
don't
going back to
know.
school.
Remember April 20th? It was
Yeah.
like that was, and then it was like, we just don't know. Stay your ass at home. Shit's getting worse. It's as bad as it's ever been. We don't know nothing.
At my job, they're like, well, maybe September.
Right. And then it was like, by summer, we'll be kicking it. Last summer, we be like,
Right. No.
no. Restaurants tried to open up.
I mean,
You know,
that was see, yeah. That's why it seems like it's been a lot longer than
yeah.
5 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and then even touching back on to the social justice protests of last summer, it's just like the fact that our parents have now lived through like almost two
Yeah.
serious like movements like that, like I don't know, I just feel like that wasn't supposed to happen. You're not supposed to live through that twice. You know what I mean? Without the lockdown, I never would have been told to contact you about live events you never would have met. Yes.
Yeah, there were some. You were right
there
there.
were
There were some
highlights.
good moments, and there were some good things that came out of the pandemic.
There
I
was.
get to work from home.
Get to work from home. I got a new job, not because of the pandemic, but I got a new job where I met Deb, and like, I was at my new job for 2 weeks before we got sent home, and then was able to figure out how to do my job at home because I had no idea. And so there were some good things, but I don't like to
Well, we would have never started podcasting if it wasn't for the pandemic. We would never. T. Nick would have never badgered.
Because T. Nick, we had talked about it long before the pandemic, and I was like, yeah, I want to do it. I don't have the time quite yet. And it was like, oh, you got the time now. Like, oh, okay. Shout out to T. Nick and the good folks at our mother show, Chicago podcast.
Yeah, moved on to that
Chicago Clubhouse podcast.
They're on that new network.
And so speaking of the Clubhouse, the Chicago Clubhouse, this coming Tuesday, I will be special guest on the show on the clubhouse where I will be giving away a pair of White Sox tickets for the final game of the year. Uh, here against the Detroit Tigers. I know baseball fans, or even just sports fans who usually like to go to baseball games or kind of prefer Cubs games just because it seems cooler. Like now is the time, especially Southsiders. Now is the time to go see the Sox. They have a beautiful park, and they are very fun to watch. You know what I mean? Like, it's rare that you that you get this from them, because even during bad years the Cubs are still a draw. So the Sox are a fun team to watch. They got a lot of fun guys who play hard, um, and enjoy what they do. There's all sorts of different activities you can do for the kids.
Mhm.
So again, this Tuesday we'll be giving out 2 tickets. What you will have to do to win the 2 tickets is to answer a little bit of White Sox trivia. Now I know some of you looking like, oh, I'll never win because who knows anything about the White Sox, right? But but
I
don't
do.
worry. That's true. But don't worry, they will be answerable questions. They won't just be gimmies, but like we'll keep it to the modern day era of baseball. We won't start asking you questions about uh, Louis Aparicio and Minnie Minoso and stuff like that. We won't, like in the Black Sox scandal, who was the
Ah,
starting, like we don't go that far back with it. But so tune in Tuesday to the Chicago Clubhouse podcast where you get the chance to win those White Sox tickets. And, the temperature will be, just cooling off around that time of year. Great time to go see some winning baseball on the
yeah,
South
see
Side.
him right before the playoffs. Our first
Right about
podcast with T. Nick Debbie was the beginning of last football
bear season, right?
season, and our first podcast for Plunked was the beginning of baseball season.
Yep. Yeah. So it was bear season was September, and I remember because September was when things were supposed to open back up. Didn't happen.
Right.
And so watching all those empty NFL stadiums and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
It was really crazy. It's
Then
good
you
to
get to
see.
talk to good old Rashid again, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Um,
Our main guy, Rashid Sheed, David's going to be on the podcast this Tuesday. He is always a pleasure to talk to. Super
Give
funny.
me
He's
my
got
bottle of
great
vodka.
stories. Great stories. Oh yeah, where's our vodka?
I don't
She
think we ever
what
sent our addresses.
was it? Vodka or tequila? Whatever it was. I'm gonna remind him about it. All right. Okay. Remind him about that. You're right.
Yes.
You're
And
right.
send them my address so I can get my vodka for the
We'll
bear
do.
season. I'm
We'll
going to have
do.
to drink a lot.
Yeah. So I mean, with that being said, bear football is coming up. Um, it's not going to be that good. We're going to wait to see Justin Fields take the field, and just look at what hopefully some good things with our future. Hopefully we do have an actual franchise quarterback, like at least a likable franchise quarterback. We've had franchise quarterbacks, but like nobody I like Cutler, but he's definitely not a franchise quote unquote quarterback. I don't like Cutler anymore, but I knew
See,
my time.
that's why we all knew what we were thinking when we didn't like him in the beginning. Like,
I
we just,
know. I knew like the fact
I
that he's
didn't
surly
dislike
and
him,
doesn't talk
dislike him.
much. Yeah, I didn't either. But the fact that he didn't talk much let me know like if he starts talking, it's going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, and Lefty Williams pitched during the Black Sox scandal. Oh, okay, you Google it. I was about to
Googled
say,
it.
oh my
I'm
god.
saying, we're not giving away flights, Debbie,
Right,
so I
right,
don't know where
right.
you get
I
these
mean,
White Sox tickets.
Debbie, you're welcome to tune in and play on Tuesday, but You're gonna have to
don't know
get your
how
own
you do
flight.
it. Right. We don't have flights and Airbnbs.
It'll just be it'll just be some tickets, and you gotta buy your own hot dogs and whatnot too. Um, so it's like you said earlier. I'm at almost at a loss for words about the Sox, just because I've had enough of
Yeah,
the
it's
regular
time.
season.
Yeah.
I've had enough for the regular season. Touching back on their pitching situation, um, four usually what do they give? Four starters usually going into a playoff roster, going into a playoff season. So looking at Big Lance Lynn, Gio, Rodon, and once again,
Cease.
thank you, Doug. Um, Dylan Cease. Let's talk about him because I'm just watching him improve throughout the year. Still has his shaky moments, but overall, I've seen his mental get so much better this year. Before he'd have a rough go of it with one hitter, and then you just saw the frustration immediately meld into the next few hitters. And now you kind of seeing him shake off whatever with one hitter and focus back in on those hitters. And that's just a sign of maturity. I heard him on 670 Score last week. He discussed that he does meditation and yoga, which I am a huge fan of. And so Dylan Cease like immediately became like almost my favorite White Sox pitcher when he talked about that and using yoga and meditation to help him handle his emotions and whatnot, which is something I am doing yoga and meditation to handle my emotions. And so just like to hear that and hear him saying that publicly, kudos to Dylan Cease. So like I am suddenly like a Dylan Cease fan right now. I'm not buying a jersey yet, but I like him going into next year. Um, and looking at all of these quote unquote injuries or real injuries we've had, because we had some real ones,
Mhm.
and even now what they're doing, I like what I see coming up from AAA. I like Gavin Sheets. I like these Burger. I like some of these guys that I'm seeing coming up. Makes me feel confident that they're holding on to them. And so regardless of what happens at the end of the season, they still got a lot of bullets in the chamber, just waiting to come up, because they're gonna wind up trading some guys or losing some guys for whatever reason. Who knows what's gonna happen with Rodon, you know what I mean, going into the off season. Like, I wouldn't be quick to drive a dump truck of money up to his front door, to be honest,
Mhm.
because he had a really great season, or is having a great season after having some really bad luck with injuries and just bad play. So I'm not quite thinking like, okay, yeah, next year he's going to be the same guy. Maybe, but it's kind of like a buyer beware type of thing dealing with Rodon, I feel.
And so does Kopech, if you don't resign him, is that who takes? Because you may be, because then are you trying to trade Dallas Keuchel? You trying to hope he comes back?
I don't know who would want Dallas
Yeah.
Keuchel. That is a
I mean,
lot
and he
of
has what, two
money.
more years or one more?
Yeah, I think like two. He's That's a lot of money. Um, Chicago teams, they're not ever willing to eat a whole bunch of salary just to get rid of a guy. Like, historically, that is not what Chicago teams do. I mean, Jason Hayward, and like, no, you gonna play. You gonna play terrible, but you gonna play. Like,
They only play once a week.
right. but you gonna
Right.
wear a Cubs
That's
uniform.
right. You're gonna be in that dugout
Uh-huh. Cheering.
for your eventual replacements.
For yes.
Well,
Yeah.
so does Kopech become a starter or?
Um, that's who I would think is next up. You know, I mean, I can't imagine Keuchel still not getting the shot
Mhm.
next year. I mean, had a good season last year, bad one this year. You know, they're in for like a lot of money with him, so I doubt that even if he doesn't make the playoff roster, I don't quite see them just saying, okay, what? You're gonna just ride the pine, you're gonna be middle relief, you're gonna only come in when we're getting blown out, and so we don't have to put in your main Mercedes to pitch. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't know. Like, I mean, you know, and it all just depends on spring training, which is seems like a lifetime away, but you know, baseball's off season is so short.
Yeah.
Um,
Do they do call ups anymore? They don't do like remember used to be the September call ups. I wonder are they still doing
well, you know, they do still do that, but this year with the Sox, it seems like their September call ups are more like, okay, let's put these guys on the
that?
IL and
Mm-hmm.
then have to call guys up. I feel like that's what you've been seeing. And not to mention, like, I mean, we've been having to call up guys all year.
Yeah.
You know, with Eloy being out so much time and Luis Robert being out so much, and then when Madrigal went down, and you know, we've had a lot of call ups, you know, throughout the year, but I don't expect to see a whole bunch of extra new blood out that we haven't seen. Like, yeah, you're gonna see Gavin Sheets out there. He's out there playing today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's not like the typical September, who's this guy? You know, like
Yeah.
we saw him earlier in the year. So
I forget the Cubs would do that, but I mean I guess everybody's up.
yeah, you know, the Cubs like by default, well, they trade everybody away. So it's like the call up was in July.
Like, there's no call ups, they're all here.
They're all here. Trade
And
everybody
then
away.
Debbie, yes, thank you for my Ryan Sandberg 23 jersey.
Yes. Old
Cooperstown.
Rhino. Old Rhino. Yes. So
Yeah. Oh, it's capped at 28 now. Okay. Oh, I thought something might be different. Thank you, Debbie. Because yeah, I remember
okay.
like how the dugout used to just be full of people, even for teams in
Crowded.
contention, because that's how they
Crowded.
rested their players. You just had, Kristen coming up to bat, and
Right.
he was sitting on the bench.
Like, who's this?
Right, like
So 28 now. The playoff roster is 23. What's the playoff roster? What's it? Something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So 20. Okay, so that's why you didn't see that big
Okay. Big
influx of
influx of bums.
people, no names.
I mean, not bums, but like he doesn't have a name on his
Right,
jersey.
it's like spring training.
Right. That's not the jersey the rest of the team's wearing. It's a spring training jersey.
Okay,
That's
because
just a
that
t-shirt with his name on it.
right, because that would be another way to rest Sox players.
This is true. This is true. So
But they don't have that many to bring up, so never mind.
and I think I really don't think they have a lot to bring up, and they can't bring up that many. But I think you're gonna see Pito Abreu probably get some time off. Um, you know, this month I would think a little bit of time off. Yeah, so I mean,
Has he been? Who's any hitter has been slumping?
um, you know, Abreu's just steady. He's steady. He's not slumping. I think he's hitting about 266 right now. 26. Okay, rosters at 26 for playoffs. Thanks, Deb. Deb's gonna be like our producers. He's
Right, exactly. That's what I
like
was
who
just
was
thinking.
Yeah, like they got all of the facts and doing the research
She
in the
got a
background.
researcher
That's
as a
dope. I love it. I
plunker.
love it.
So
I love it.
that's right. She is the MVP, the most
That
valuable plunker.
most valuable plunker. Thank you. Thank you. And you interactive and contributing to the effort. I love it. I love it. Um, but slumping. I mean, no, I wouldn't say slumping. Eloy has cooled off a little bit, but definitely not slumping. Um, I don't know. I haven't checked on Adam Engel. As he, I think he
Where
just
is he?
got
Is he in minors?
he just got a new like AAA assignment because he was hurt again. So like I think he just started a new assignment. So he should be back uh hopefully soon. But yeah, I can't say anybody's been slumping. I mean, my little dude, Lairi Garcia, he's been having a good time of it. Over the past few games. So that's good to see. Moncada is on a hitting streak. Um,
I think it ended today then.
did it? Okay.
Yeah, he didn't get any hits today.
Um, and like I said, Grandal is just hitting like he's a professional baseball player. I love it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so yeah, there's nobody really I would say slumping. You know,
Okay. Well, that's
and
good.
then yeah, and then like Vaughn, he's the future. You know what I mean? That is a good ball player right there. Hope he continues to grow. You get a better idea of once he gets through the off season, gets through the playoffs, gets through the off season, and how he comes back and how he adjusts. And pitchers are going to adjust to him, so he's going to have to be prepared for that going into the next season. So you'll get an idea of like just like you talked about, Mister Schwindel. You'll see how they adjust coming in the next year. So and that's about it, you know. And I think this is a good time to bid thee farewell. Do you have any closing statements, Kristen?
No, just once again, thank you, MVP Debbie, for my jersey. I appreciate it. Thank you, all the plunkers who are listening, watching, or who will watch later. Appreciate all of you.
Appreciate you.
Uh, and Sox fans, just hold on. It's almost over. I know you're antsy. You're tired of watching it right now because you're ready for the real deal, but it's coming.
Mhm.
For the
It's
Mets
coming.
fans, good luck to you. You got a good hobby going right now, so hopefully that will help. And for Cubs
Yeah,
fans,
good Javi is amazing.
yeah. So you got good hobby, so hopefully that'll help you guys leap over some people to get into the wild card. Because I want all my former Cubs to be in the playoffs, so I am rooting for. That's one of the few times I'm rooting for the Mets. So because
And
there's a
or the
former Cub
Giants,
there,
you
yeah,
know.
there's a former Cub there, so I want them to make it. And keep watching Schwindel.
We'll see what he
She's
does.
getting her own most valuable plunker T-shirt right now.
That's right. That's right. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. So once again, baseball fans, not just Sox fans, Cubs fans too, tune in to the Chicago Clubhouse podcast this Tuesday for your opportunity to answer 3 White Sox trivia questions for that shot at winning those tickets to the White Sox Detroit game, the final game of the season. Don't quote me exactly. I believe it's October 2nd ish, but I'll have that locked in for you Tuesday when we
Third,
play a little. This is October 3rd. Okay, when we play a
10
little
is
quick
Detroit.
game of trivia. All right. And with that being said, just wanted to share something really quick. This group, I'm switching over to music. So we're switching over to music really quick. This group, it's a these two people, they look like a couple of teenagers, but they're Domi and JD Beck. I had the pleasure of seeing them at the House of Blues a couple of years ago, like in 19, I believe. They were opening for a band named Chon that I went to see, and they were incredible. And I just came across some footage of them. I was randomly YouTubing some MF Doom songs and whatnot. Shout out and rest in power to MF Doom, who passed away late last year. But this is a tribute that they did to MF Doom that we're gonna go out with. And again, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Deb. Thanks to all the
Thank you,
plunkers
Deb.
out there. And this is Plunked. This is the baseball podcast where we celebrate two teams, one magnificent city, the greatest city that ever was, ever is, and will ever be, Chicago. And let's check out a little music here and keep it going. See you all next week. Oh, by the way, next week we will also have a new edition with featuring Brother Ruben of Stadium Eats. Brother Ruben traveled to Miami, Florida, and he took in some good sights and sounds and smells while he was down there. He said the stadium's kind of a dump, but he got a hold of some, he got a hold of some good eats, and he's going to share some of that with us. And I got to make a quick adjustment here so I can play this video. Be patient. Go Bears. So next week we're going to have an abbreviated show because we got a little Sunday night football, with the Chicago Bears. So
They
so
play
we'll
at
still
night.
have,
They
yeah,
sure do.
it's
Lord
the
have
Sunday
mercy.
night game. So you already know where we'll be, but Plunk will still be in effect. Just kind of an abbreviated version, as I mentioned. And
And I will be sitting in a bowling alley. Not bowling.
oh, is it
Yes,
time? Is it
it's time.
time?
So I'll go in my car because I won't be bowling anyway.
Gotcha,
I can't
gotcha.
bowl for a few weeks.
All right, all right. Kristen has got a little sciatica problem
That's why
going
you see me
on.
rocking more than normal on this.
Right, right. You gotta do what you gotta do, you know. And this I've been stalling here because I love Max, but they act so finicky sometimes with their
I forgot it was a night
security
game.
crap. And in the case, well,
Oh, the security.
yeah, trying to get this video to play. Um, dun, 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 dun. Let's see if we can get it
The Sox
going. Get it
play next
going.
week. This week. This Tuesday. They're at Oakland for 3, and then Boston comes in town for 3. Then they got the Angels for 3. So you get to see
So
show.
they don't have it easy. The season is not gonna. They don't. Detroit's probably hopefully about their easiest time that they'll have.
But
But
that's when those. Thank you very much, Debbie. That's when those teams try to ruin
try
things
to
for people.
ruin your party. They try to ruin your party. So we got to be careful with that. And Chrome doesn't have permission to share my screen. Up yours, Chrome. I don't have time for this. Pretty disgusted that you
We'll
won't
play it
play.
next week.
And we'll play it next
Just send it
week.
to me. Maybe I'll be able to share it.
Just disgusting right now. And you all have a pleasant
Good night, all.
Labor Day. Good night.